Around the Ozarks, a Lebanon man was recently honored with his own day as a way to say thanks for his contributions to the local aviation community. Color 10's Nija McDonald is in studio with us this morning to share his story. Nija.
Well, good morning, Lauren. Fred Mays received his pilot's license at the age of 17. 7 decades later, Mays is known as a trailblazer and just simply a good-hearted man. Although he'd never admitted himself, Fred Mays has had a significant impact on the Lebanon aviation community. Just ask his former mentee, Jeffrey Myers.
I think everybody ought to have a Fred Mays in their life, a person that they can look up to, respect.
I started out in the Army Guard, and after I got out of high school, and I went to a maintenance, A&P maintenance school for the Army. Then I went back to flight school. It went through the helicopter and fixed wing flight training. I flew those for years and instructed in Kansas City and moved down here to Lebanon in '68.
With Mays turning 85 this year, Myers thought what a better way to honor him than with his own day.
Aviation's such a big part of his life. I thought, you know, having some folks gathered together in a safe way.
Myers says with Mays' blessing, he ran with it.
I think you only thought that there was going to be a couple of people. Okay.
But as you see in these photos, it was just the opposite.
I called the mayor and said, you know, a man who's lived here since the 60s has been such a pivotal part of the aviation community here in Lebanon. We ought to honor.
And so Fred Mays' Day came to be.
They surprised me on all of that. It was a fun deal, and several of them were my students.
Mays says he's taught more than 100 students during his time as a pilot and says,
I think that more young women ought to get involved in it. Good training, good discipline, and it's fun.
As for the legacy Mays hopes to leave behind,
I guess that I was fair, honest, and liked people. That's the main thing.
Lebanon Mayor Jared Carr proclaimed May 13th as Fred Mays' Day, calling Mr. Mays an icon to the community.